Hello everybody, BL Carter here, affectionately known as Miss B. I hope everyone is doing well, your families are doing well, and you're working on your puzzle pieces. Today I wanted to address the question several people have asked me, why do I YouTube? So, good question, why do I YouTube? I don't know why other people YouTube, but here are a few of my reasons. First, to share my experiences and to reach more people in doing it. My life journey has taken me through various experiences, a mass amount of education, structured in the classroom as well as outside the classroom, international travel, direct first-hand experience in a lot of areas, as well as my work experience. And I've used that along the way, on the ground, if you will, to help people as I can. And what I often get is, you should write a book, you should write a book, you should write a book. And I am a journalist as well. Well, in the sense of I journal. I've been journaling for some time, so a lot of stuff is documented in a journal and could be easily turned into a book. The information is not for sale, so if I don't choose to sell it and make money off of it, it seems easy enough for me just to do the YouTube method. I can reach more people a whole lot more quickly, and it's free. It doesn't cost them anything. And that's my overall objective, to provide the information. You may not necessarily agree with what I say, how I say it, what I experienced, whatever the case may be. And that's fine. You can just ignore it and keep moving. But somebody will agree, and somebody will find some benefit in it. And so for those people who do find benefit and who are able to make whatever positive adjustments they need to make for themselves, that's why I do it. A few examples. Like I said, I have been journaling as things in this country began to get a little bit more crazy. I began being more outspoken, being more of an advocate for various things, specifically the abuse, child abuse, mental abuse, the abuse of disabled people, people with various mental issues, things like that. Those who can't really help themselves, if you will. And I continue to get from all the people in that community that I've interacted with, you should write a book, you should write a book. Well, back to the same thing about writing a book. It's would reach a whole lot more people faster doing it this way, and they can actually come look for the information. Another reason why I do it this way is I can partition or I can section out some things. If I wrote the book or if I published some of the scripts that I have, my goal is not to embarrass anyone, or not intentionally. Sometimes some people may get embarrassed if they, highlight themselves, but I tend not to give names or specifics such that, so the goal is not to embarrass any one person or entity or group or organization or governmental office. If I publish the books or the scripts that I have names, dates, times, etc. And the goal is not to embarrass. So I would feel uncomfortable writing a book or publishing a book that said a certain event happened, and I don't give the organization, I don't give specifics and details. I know as a reader, I wouldn't want to read a book that doesn't give specific details. So, since that's not my goal, I chose, not to do that at this time. And then also there's some shame or embarrassment or ridicule on myself as well, that goes along with being transparent. And, some of it was that too. Uh, do you necessarily, and this is an example, if you were raped, there's a bunch of shame and ridicule that would be put on you if you were raped. So would you necessarily want to put that information out there? No, not really. Or if, you were, and I shouldn't say you, I should say I, because I'm using an example and it's me writing. If I were drunk and coming home in the middle of the night from a club at 3 in the morning by myself, and I was mugged on, 54th Street in New York. Well, I could put it in the book, but my purpose of putting it in there is just to be transparent. But what I would get from that, I'm pretty sure, is all the people who want to find blame. See, you nasty slut. You had no business out at the club by yourself. You shouldn't have been drinking. All of those who want to lay judgment and blame and ridicule. And that's not the objective. The objective is to share information that it can be a healing, a help, an aid, a benefit to someone. So, on my health journey, for those of you who've listened to my tubes before, I did have a health journey, and I'm still alive, so I'm still in the journey. And I know there are some things that I fell to that I wasn't aware of. I didn't know what to do, how to do, had no knowledge of even thinking about doing. And to share those mistakes. There's no need for somebody else to suffer. Share it. As well as the possibilities of better care that I personally have experienced, as well as what I've witnessed other people experience. So just to put it out there, not to tell anyone, fire your doctor, or stop taking your medicines and do it my way or do it the way I suggested, but to give people options and possibilities, especially if their current health journey is not working for them. Give them some direction to go, if you will, to do further research to get their health where they want it to be. It's just about sharing the information. I also have spent time doing research on the systemic attacks on the family, on black or melanated people in particular, male and female children. Well, I think that the currently political correct term is, what is the current term? Look, it just escaped me just that quick. White supremacy. Yeah, that's what they call it. Well, just to highlight the systemic measures that have been put in place to attack people. And though most of my research started out with the black family, a lot of it crosses into families of other races as well. So to put the information out there, not necessarily to attack a government agency, but so that the black family, the people in the black family, and the stakeholders involved can be aware of what they're up against. That's not to say everyone is being taken through the mud in the criminal justice system. That's not to say every criminal justice case has been done unfairly. But that is to say this is a potential, these are things that are going on, and you want to be mindful of it if you ever get into the situation. The emotional attacks, the psychological, the redlining in housing, the food quality in certain neighborhoods of certain people, the poisoning of foods with various chemicals, the school to prison pipeline, which is, public knowledge, the welfare system, the education system, all these things that in a lot of ways have not served the black community, and more often than not, the black community has become complacent, if you will, or even complicit in these things not serving them. And so just to shed light on that, so that the black community can step up, they can be aware of these areas that might be gotchas, and they can step up and do what they need to do to overcome it, to get on top of it, to put it behind them, whatever word you want to use. And truth be told, it's a lot that the black male and the black female, the black family has come against. And it's so much, sometimes it tends to get overwhelming for anybody. And so just to also share, to have a place where people can go and realize they're not the only one. Say, for example, if you are a melanated person, a black person, and you have some questions about the vaccinations. Well, if you did a search and I had something out there about vaccinations, you might pop up on and see my video or audio, whatever you want to call it. And I might just be addressing that part about vaccinations that I'm directly familiar with, or that stuff that I've researched and I know to be true and accurate, and that's why I'm putting it out there. Doesn't mean you have to follow whatever instructions or guidance that I give. It just means it's a resource for you to use in your investigatory process. All of this is research information, tools for you guys to use as you develop your lives, as you develop yourselves, as you do healings that you need to heal, as you make plans and strategize to be the better persons that you want to be. Everything I put out there is just for that purpose. And the listeners take the portions that work for them. The portions that don't work, just ignore it. Now, I don't particularly want to hear you write me some long, drawn-out comment about my voice, my hair, my eyes, and whatever other negative you see in me, or the experience that I know to be fact is a lie, is derogatory. It's time out for all of that. If it doesn't apply to you, if you don't like it, you can thumbs down it, you can ignore it and keep moving. But there are some people who will benefit, and that's why I do this. I was at one point using regular Facebook. And of course, like I said, on the ground. I've been on the ground trying to wake people up, so to speak, to that information that I was already awakened to for maybe the last 30 years. I don't even know when YouTube came out, but this has been something, it's been a lifelong process for me. Have been taking it one person at a time, or one small group at a time, mentoring with youth, talking with family members, talking with other parents, talking with other stakeholders in the various areas in which I've worked. This has been a lifetime process for me. YouTube is just now coming up just because it's easier to reach more people. Finally, I guess if you will, is to get you guys to think. Again, I'm not God. I'm not the total sole authority on anything except me. And maybe my children. But in every area that I post about, I'm not the total sole authority. I can be a piece to the puzzle if that's something you're dealing with. I can share with you what I know. I can give you guidance and tips and direction in which to go. But I'm not the total sole authority. Don't pretend to be, won't ever try to be, because every area is so vast. No one person can know it all. But it's to get you to think. If the issue of vaccinations comes up, to get you to think, do I just follow what the white coats say? Or let me see if there's some other information out there I need to think about before I do this. Prescription medicine. If I'm sharing something about prescription medicine that I know to be true, and you're suddenly given some new pill that you don't know anything about, and you do Google search and you pop up on my page and you hear about that medicine. Oh, okay, well, let me research it some more, just to make sure. Again, the objective is to give you options, to give you are the puzzle pieces that you can use to research and make better decisions for yourself and your family. It's not so much even someone said something about my attacks on Christianity. My objective is not to attack Christianity. I was raised Christian, and I do believe in the very clear foundations. But I do believe Christianity has taken a left turn somewhere along the way. And I'm still evolving in that process. And I make no apologies for it. I'm very clear when I speak about it. I'm still evolving in that process. It's taken a left turn. I don't know where it took a left turn. And I'm not sure that at this point it makes sense for me to spend the time trying to track down where it took the left turn. I choose to develop my relationship, to strengthen my relationship with the Creator, the Most High God, myself. And let all the religious dogma people do them. If you get a hold of my information and it rings a bell with you, it strikes a chord, and it helps you to think a little bit more, excellent, excellent. Because it's either going to drive you closer to God, or it's going to push you in another direction anyway. And my hope is that it would somehow drive you closer to God, either by way of direct connection with you and God yourself, or by way of, if you have to change churches or leave the church totally and start your own little church in your house with you, your spouse, and your kids. Whatever it is it takes for you to get to a point that you're establishing your correct relationship with the Most High yourself. That's the purpose. That's the purpose when it comes to Christianity. But again, it's not about attacking a particular faith. Now, there is some mess going on in Christianity. I've experienced firsthand, and I will tell it. I've already told it, and I'll continue to tell it. It is what it is. Christianity is, and I shouldn't say Christianity, I could say certain churches. They're no different than any other topic, any other subject, any other organization that I would talk about. I'm going to tell the good and the bad. If I experienced it, if I know it firsthand, I have primary knowledge of it, I'm going to share it because it'll benefit somebody. It may have benefited me. It may not have benefited me. It might have been a loss for me. But if I share it, then you can use it so it doesn't become a loss for you. If it was a benefit for me, then I share it so you can model and tweak it to work for you and hopefully be a big benefit for you. But overall, the goal is just to get people to heal. There are so many hurting people, so many people who don't have knowledge, who don't have information, or who are getting knowledge and information from folk who have motives other than to see them in their better selves. Motives to use up your money, use up your time, use up your resources, manipulate your mind, manipulate you in some kind of way. They have agendas. I don't have an overall agenda other than to get you, for lack of a better term, free, and as free as you can be in all aspects. And if it means sharing the experiences and the information I know is going to help you on the road to whatever your level of freedom is, that's why I do it. So you take the nuggets, as I usually call them, pearls of wisdom, or the puzzle pieces. You take the pieces that work for you. They fit in your puzzle, take them and put them in your puzzle. If they don't, just discard it and keep it moving. And I guess finally, just bad people wasting time. If I've been through it, I've experienced it, and I know it doesn't work. For example, particular product. New products on the market. I went out and bought it. It's a piece of trash. Wasting my $5. If I took the time to do a YouTube about it, then that would save you the time of buying it, the time of taking it, standing in the line to return it and get your money back, and the tears or whatever heartache, headache you'll go through just going through that process. So oftentimes it's just a matter of saving you from wasting your time. I think as a people, as humans, we've got to get back to being kind enough to save someone the time and the energy, the tears, the heartaches, the headaches, whatever it is, if we can share that information with them, that's just being human. That's not being male, that's not being female, black, white, rich, poor, Christian, Jewish, Hebrew, Israelite, whatever. That's just being human. Why make someone reinvent the wheel? If you have a wheel, why not share your wheel with them? My wheel is what? Some experiences, a few words of wisdom, a few pearls here and there. Take the wheel and run with it. Put it on your car and speed up a little bit. Keep going. So that's why I YouTube. I don't know why others YouTube. They have their various reasons. I'm not monetized. I'm not looking for fame and glory and all that other good stuff. Actually, I debated doing this for some time. I delayed doing this. This has actually come up for a few years now, and I delayed doing it just because I didn't necessarily want the public notoriety. I like living my life and work with the people that I work with hands-on. But I was reminded how many more people needed to be reached, and realizing the state that we as a people are in, as a human race are in. And then you can borrow that down to as U.S. citizens, down a little further to as melanated people, down a little further, I'm a black female, so as a black woman, or as a black male, or as black children. Realizing some of the things that we're dealing with, I said, okay, I got to do it. So here we are. Let me know what you think. If you got any questions, feel free to drop them. And I do try to answer questions, get back to people. But in a nutshell, that's why I YouTube. So that whatever pearls I have can be passed on to you and make your life a little easier. That being the case, as I always say, get your puzzle piece, figure out where it goes in your puzzle, and get it in that puzzle. One more piece to the puzzle. Take care and be blessed until the next time.